there's something in the voice, there's voice here, right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly sarcasm, but there's a little bit of like reducing what one's made. And I think that can just be made, like read as that, like, oh, but it reduces something and now it reduces my experience of what I read, or it can be read as, and now I have permission to take it lightly, you know? So I think that's just yours, that's just like information you're getting to decide, and yeah, that's what I want out, like what we want it to be. I like Bill's appearance in the last line. I wonder if you might include like for Bill in like, you know, like an end dash and then for Bill in italics, like just under the title, like inset. So it's like there's a dedication, and then when we meet Bill here, we understand something. In a way, so kind of, it's a possibility. I think we all noticed the spelling of dinosaur changes here, and that's interesting, right? So we understand that it's intentional. Teaches us something about how to understand who Bill is. I feel like the scribe, the she, that's the scribe, that's the writer of the poem, or the speaker of the poem, that for me, that's a moment where I become the scribe. And so and it helped me differentiate who the she is and who the seal is and whatnot. But I also understand why that might be your like, hey, because now it's like, I'm the scribe, and it's easier for me to identify with the she scribe. Whereas maybe that puts some readers at a place where they don't know how to, like if it's gendered, they don't really know how to access the same like point of entry where you like leave the, you know, you like suspend your disbelief and enter into the poem as the writer of it almost. So that's interesting.
I love the fact that the poem is just what this poet believes. I mean, so often we're so careful that it's just who I am. You take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
It's the credo.
Yeah.
I almost want you to read a line blank.
Like a space,
A space of
white space.
You give it right here. Give us a period. Let me take a breath and take in that sense of credo and the relationship. It was clear it was relational to me. Because then, of course, everyone wanted to know what happened to the, you know, that little line would give me more suspense about it. Everyone wanted to know what happened, but it's a poem, it's Bill's piece, and then maybe you break the line. It is the scribe is, break it as eager as the rest of you are. Believe me.
I kind of interpreted a third voice, which was containing the scribe. I thought there was a third voice stepping in, or I still have to figure out whether it's behind the whole thing or stepping in. Because I didn't always assume that the scribe was the voice.
And gets what do I want to make real?
Yeah.
This is a shift, right?
Yeah.
It's the I becomes the third character.
Yeah.
In a way, though, we feel connected to the scribe.
Yeah.
Right? So it helps extend the scribe, but it's almost like the scribe is talking about oneself in third person before that. So it's
Right.
almost this distanced character
Right.
that then becomes the I.
And then it's picked up at the last line. That's Bill's piece and the scribe. Like Bill and the scribe are sort of in the same plane. And then the rest. So I don't know. I thought that was really wonderful.
Could be a picture behind it, figuring, imagining the different personas involved.
And that a dinosaur has a dream which is untouchable and sort of ephemeral but made real but not filled in. You know, like we have to start imagining what a dinosaur dream is, or that a dinosaur dreams. I just think that's I think that speaks to the tension that I heard you talking about, Anne, about I'm gonna create this, and you can either pick it up or not. You can do something with it or not. I'm not gonna contain you, and I'm not in charge of that.
Can you imagine what a dinosaur would dream?
I walk back my feelings in the last two lines given the conversation, but I also, part of that laugh, of course, everyone wants to know what happened. It seems like such a powerful way to end, and it forces the reader to do a lot of work. But at the same time, this conversation about what the last two lines do, what additional voice it brings in, there's so much, and it's really good, provoking. No.
And I love the confidence and the knowingness of believe me. Like the wisdom of that. Just love it. That was good. I love that.
It sucks though.
No.
I mean, it can. I mean, you know, like when you have a desire, right? I mean, and I do think that there's a separation between like the human element of wanting something to happen. Like we all want things to go a certain way, right? I mean, but then allowing somebody the permission to decide to go a different way and kind of like if they want to and wish them well, I mean, that's where I think the real work comes in, you know, like it's one thing to be eager about something when you think it's going to go your way. It's another to be eager about something when you're not sure it's going to go your way. Right? And I find myself constantly have to practice, like, it's kind of saying, well, either way it goes is fine. It's good. I got to just...
To let go of that.
Right.
But that's what you were talking about, wasn't it? The self-care, self-love.
Yes. Yeah. Which is why there was somebody else's thing of, the first poem we did today about dancing with yourself. You know, that's kind of, it's that concept that allows writing like this to take place, and I think allows us to love unconditionally. You know, like that's what I'm really trying to master for myself, is this element of unconditional love, like that. And I think that can only be born out of a true, unadulterated, pure self-love. Which is we're not taught that, I don't think. We're not taught that, there's a lot of codependency, I think, that we don't even realize that takes place, or that desire for agreement, or that desire for,
Well, I think society is built on codependency in a way. There's got to be a glue that's social thing. I mean, there doesn't have to be, but it's often the thing to grow, you can first grab, instead of first learn to love yourself, then learn to love others. That takes a lot of effort and concentration. And people have to make a living and feed the money machine and all that stuff. So I'm not approving of it.
What you have two people, but then you have a group of people all around the table writing these things. Who is this group? I'm interested.
So it was a writing group just like this, and it was this, I wrote this as everybody was writing, because Bill had sent me this photo, and so what Kevin, the facilitator, he said, okay, take out your art thing, and we're going to do ekphrastic poetry for the next 10 minutes or whatever. And Bill had just sent me this picture, and so I sat down, and I could hear the scratching against the paper of everybody, and I thought, gosh, I wonder what everybody's writing, and I threw out, like, I had an idea of what I was going to come in and write, but then that kind of went right out the window, and there was an ant crawling up the window, and there's this kind of tension between Bill and I, because, he's 70 and I'm 37, and I'm absolutely taken with him, and but there is the idea of age, you know, and how do we say what a dinosaur is, and how do we say what a unicorn is? So there's kind of an implication of age, you know, and
There's a lot of process in it too. You're writing, other people are writing, and this all becomes part of the poem,
yeah.
which is very interesting.
Who is what was the full name of your instructor or facilitator or whatever?
Kevin Basil, yeah, he was, yeah.
Is he doing it for a week or 2 weeks? Or?
It was a week long.
And that was your whole focus?
Nope, this was like 20 minutes. A 20-minute, just like we would get a writing prompt.
It was a generative week-long workshop. So
Warrior writers related discipline.
So it was actually Frontline Arts and Haystack coming together for a joint week-long workshop at Haystack in Deer Isle, Maine. And so there was paper making, ceramics, and writing. We were in the writing group, but it was a generative, veteran-focused week-long workshop.
So we were all veterans?
Yes.
Nice. And you chose writing as your main focus?
Yeah.
Given the credo, I think like the moment of writing in the center is actually like helpful. Like if you want the poem also to be a meditation on the credo that you have, the collective, the moment where everybody is like writing in the center,